Hi, Nick Hindson from MarketShare International, creator and founder of MarketShare, the business strategy board game. I developed the original board game in a response to the situation I found myself back in 1997. I'd built a business and it looked, for the most part, a successful business. However, in the back end of it, we were struggling financially, we were struggling with keeping up with orders and managing our team. I read a book in 1999 called The E-Myth by Michael Gerber and realized what I was lacking was understanding around management, management of systems, finances and people, and I lacked a strong understanding of what entrepreneurship is all actually about. So I was left with my business in pieces and decided that being very ambitious, there must be other people out there like me, and having read Michael's book, I realized that I wasn't the only one who's struggling with their business. I went out looking for some options and started creating some ideas and some solutions around how I could support and help other business people create successful businesses, and MarketShare Game was one of those that I found. So in 1999, I started writing down ideas, drawing it up, and I put it away in a folder. And it wasn't until 2009 that I had the opportunity, some time and some money aside, to actually start developing that. So we game tested it, developed it, put it together, did some group testing and found it needed a few tweaks. We developed it and got it to a point where we could take it into schools, and the feedback was overwhelming. We found that teachers and students were engaged in the game and wanted to see it commercialized. I then approached the Ice House looking for some insight around how we could grow the business to another level and get the product to market. And it was through their support and support of some of the sponsors that came on early in the piece that it actually helped us get the whole thing ready to go to market. And in 2012, we launched it to the market, went into the warehouse and started experiencing some early success. From there, the game has developed. We've been taken the game into 75 high schools, mostly in Auckland, but further afield around New Zealand. We've been into 6 of the 8 universities. We've been into other educational organisations, been into local government and business networking groups. And wherever we go, we've found that the feedback has been both exciting and overwhelming in some ways. So we are on a journey now to take the game to the next level in New Zealand, to launch a second edition of the game here, and to then look at Australia, the Philippines and Singapore. So the exciting thing about the game is that it helps deliver a conversation around strategy, business strategy, risk management, cash flow and resource management, and an element of negotiation thrown in there. So it's a good, engaging game. It's very competitive. The people who have played it have said that they have a lot of fun playing it, and they really see the competitive side of people coming out. So I look forward to getting your feedback if we get the opportunity to hear from you, and also hope you enjoy playing the game and engaging with it. If you have any comments, please let us know. I understand you'll be playing the game over the next hour or two, and we hope that you enjoy doing so.
Hi there, I'm Nick Hindson and welcome to MarketShare. We've developed the MarketShare business board games for all businesses, and for college and university students, our purpose is to help grow the local economy through business education, to help entrepreneurs build better businesses, and to increase the financial literacy of our next generation. MarketShare is a game of skill and chance that allows players to build their own small business, to go into the marketplace, acquire customers and resources, to generate income and make profit. You'll start out small and throughout the game grow until you're doing business with the giants. Learn to manage your resources, your finances, your opportunities. You can play MarketShare through half the game, the full game, or for a time period. Once you've finished, you're going to want to determine a winner. You can play MarketShare as 2, 3 or 4 players or teams. Each player will be given a game booklet, a game sheet, 5 acquisition cards, pencil, counters and their starting cash. The amount of starting cash differs depending on the number of players. These cards are used to acquire human and non-human resources throughout the game, and the companies that you want to acquire as your customers. Play these cards wisely and develop a very clever strategy. If you don't have the cards you require, you may take the previously discarded card and replace it with one of yours, or you may negotiate with one of your opposition, and if need be, you can sweeten the deal with some cash. At the beginning of the game, you're going to elect a banker and an auditor. The banker is going to be responsible for making sure everyone gets paid the right amount of money and is paying the right amount of money to the bank. The auditor is going to be responsible for ensuring that everybody's ticking the right boxes, being paid the right amount of money, and have the right resources in place to acquire the customers. At the beginning of each of your turns, you'll have the opportunity to take a risk card. Weigh this wisely, as some of these cards will benefit you and some of them will have a negative effect. For further information about the risk cards, please refer to the instructions. The players then receive their monthly income and they play one or two of their acquisition cards. For the first 2 turns, each player will play 1 acquisition card per turn. From the 3rd turn onwards, you can choose whether you're playing 1 or 2 cards. Whether you play 1 or 2 cards on your turn, ensure that you always have 5 cards in your hand, replace the cards you've just played. At the beginning of the game, you may be able to acquire some new customers without requiring any resources. However, as you progress in the game, you're going to need to acquire resources to continue growing and doing business with the bigger customers. When you bring in new customers, you're going to need to mark those on the game board using one of your coloured counters. Don't forget, each time you bring on a new resource, mark it on your game sheet and ensure that you record your income and your bonuses. Towards the end of each turn, you'll have the opportunity to invest in professional development, which will increase your income by 10%. You'll also have the opportunity to invest in risk management, such as general liability insurance policy, which would cover against some of the risk cards that come up in the game. Once you've completed step 1 to 7 on the bottom of the game sheet, it's the next player's turn. There must always be a winner. So to determine the winner, on the back of the game sheet you can record all of the costs and scoring from in the game. If you need an example, there is one in the game booklet. In playing the market share game, business advertisers will achieve multiple wins through owner, management and staff engagement, brand awareness and loyalty, participation with other advertisers, competition and fun in teams, at hosted network events playing the market share business board games. And sponsors of universities and colleges will provide free games for students to learn business strategies, thereby nurturing our next generation of business leaders. But now it's time to get started. Get competitive and go and have some fun.